La 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 la.
We're on now.
Yeah, I know that.
La 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 to yourself. So hi everybody.
Yeah, we should actually start talking before you see the pictures, so because we'll be just sitting there for a while, not saying anything until.
I'm not understanding what you're trying to get
Look,
at. What
if
does
we
it
just
matter?
sit there and stare,
Yeah.
then they're still going to see the same picture.
Well, I guess I don't know. You running this show or am I? I don't know. Hi Jeannie. Hi Marlene.
Hi Marlene. Hi Jeannie.
Hi Angel. Hi Joan. Hi B. Everybody's coming on at once here. That's good. We'll just give it a few more seconds. Hi Donna.
Donna.
You mumble.
I know I do. My dad always used to mumble.
Well, you're not. Your daddy's dead. So stop
Yeah,
mumbling.
why?
Because I don't like it when you mumble.
Mumbles.
Mumbles. Mumbles. Like really.
Mr. Magoo.
Yeah, well, yeah, you kind of look like Mr. Magoo.
I need glasses, right?
Yeah.
Here, give me your glasses.
Yeah. You already got the mustache for it. Yeah. Mr. Magoo didn't have a mustache, did he?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
I don't think he did.
Head,
Bald
no
head
mustache.
and those really
And
thick
glasses.
glasses. I don't know. Anyways, great conversation today. We're talking about Mr. Magoo. Aren't you glad you dropped in for that? So, okay, well, hi Kathleen. So I guess we might as well get started. We were talking just before things on about
His mother.
my mother. We've had some disturbing developments on all of this. Anyway, so happy 4th of July to all the Americans out there. Happy belated July 1st Canada Day for all the Canadians. And if you're from neither Canada nor the States, too bad. Oh, that's
That
good.
was pretty good, right?
Yeah, right there. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we'll never be able to do that again either.
Yeah.
Well, that was the highlight of the day. Thanks for coming, everybody. Bye-bye for now. So, anyways, as you can tell, we still haven't had haircuts. It's driving me bloody nuts. I said earlier today.
I actually said I have hair on top of my head now.
Yeah, soon if the wind comes up, blow it one way. We are getting haircuts on July the 13th. I think I mentioned that last week. So what's that, 9 days away?
Yeah.
Well, by
9
then.
more days of hell.
Yeah, really.
I almost feel like lining up at the cheap haircut place.
Yeah, we went by the hair first cutters or hair cutter. What do they call that?
First choice.
First choice.
I always call it last choice.
Last choice, yes. Hi, Wendy. Yeah, and they were all lined outside the door to get their hair cut and everything because I don't think you can make appointments at those places.
No, you can't.
So
I did, out of desperation, a couple of times go to one of those places, but and they're okay. They just tend to have a lot of trainee people working in there.
yeah, hi, Joan. Oh, I think I said hello to Joan. Well, I'll say hello to Joan again. I don't know. I have a short memory.
I don't think there's too much you can do to screw up my haircut.
No, true. Well, I don't know. My hair hasn't been this long since I was in high school, and in high school it came down to here, and geez, now old man syndrome. Now it's like I don't even like it touching my ears, and I can't do anything with it. I've been threatening.
I'm used to not having to comb it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't used a hair dryer in like 30 years. But I'm threatening to get the damn thing out again to try and do it. But then I don't know how I'd style it. Like, what am I going to do with it?
Get some gel and make it into a mohawk.
No, I stopped using the gel on it. When it's this long, it makes it all go like weird, like helmet head. Hi, Virginia. But yeah, I mean, I got this new hairspray and I don't like it. Well, that's why it was on sale for $3.69. I couldn't get my usual hairspray.
Yeah, it seems like they were out of all those Alberto products, and
yeah, well,
maybe they've changed the name of it.
Well,
or maybe a company got taken over or something.
You know, I've been using the same one for years, and I hate it when they do that. But anyway, so enough about our hair. Okay, let's talk about my mother. Oh, where do we begin? Well, let's see. Last week. Was it last Sunday before we did this on?
Hi, Andy.
On the hi, Andy. Last Sunday before we just went on air that I got the phone call from the nursing home, and at that point, what was that one about? Oh no, that was, I think I told you, my mother wanted to talk to me. Was that last week?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's this week.
That was this week.
okay, I'm
That was
losing
a
it.
couple of days ago.
Yeah, okay, a couple of days ago, I get this phone call from one of the staff members at my mother's nursing home saying my mother wanted to talk to me. I said, okay. I said, is she all right? And she said, yeah, or something, but she wants to talk to you. So I said, okay, fine. Well, the lady or the staff member who was trying to switch me over to, I guess, my mother's phone or whatever they do at the new place, she was having some trouble with it. She couldn't figure it out. She said, I'll call you right back. And she did. And she was still having some problems with it. She finally got my mother on the phone. Well, my mother starts on the phone and she goes, hello, hello, like she always does, because I don't think my mother's figured out where a phone goes anymore.
How she hasn't figured out where ear is.
She's only just one stop away from answering a toilet brush. I mean, I don't know. But anyways, they've got her adjusted so she could hear me. Then she was complaining there was too much noise in the hall and she couldn't hear what was being said or whatever. Well, there was some noise outside of her room. But anyways, so I said to her, so Mom, what's the problem? What do you want? Well, I want to go to your place or to Lori's. And Lori's my sister. And I said, well, no, Mom, you can't. Well, I want to. Well, Mom, you can't. You're in a wheelchair. Well, no, I can walk. No, Mom, that's why you're in a wheelchair. You can't walk. And of course, I said, we can't take you out, Mom. Everything's still restricted with COVID and everything like that.
And even if it wasn't restricted with COVID, she's pretty much stuck in her wheelchair. The staff dress her and bathe her and wipe her
and
bum.
toilet her. No, I mean, I can't do any of that stuff. I'm not equipped to look after that kind of thing with her as well. So there's no way. So it was kind of, I said, well, no, Mom. Well, I said, when we can, I said, we'll come over, we'll visit you. But I said, we still can't come over and have a visit yet with you physically. I said, but we'll still be calling you by FaceTime. I mean, both my sister and I go on FaceTime with her at separate times, at least once every week. So it's not like we're putting her in a corner and forgetting about her. Hi, Dana. Hi, Marilyn. So, but she goes, well, you should make sure you do. And I says, Mom, when the nicer weather, when they let us, not the nicer weather, but I said, when we can. I said, Lori's just had her second shot. It takes 3 weeks for it to kick in. And then we can arrange to have an outdoor visit with you. And I said, and we're planning to do that. Well, you better be doing that. And I says, Mom, yeah, we will. Well, I hope you do what you say you're going to do. And I said, Mother, when have you known me not to? I said, if I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it. And she just was giving me a really rough time out of it all. But this was exactly what my father did when my father had dementia. The same thing exactly. And then she says, I said, well, they're keeping me up to date on how you're doing there and everything. They're looking after you. She says, well, they're all into cahoots, with one another. And I thought, oh, this is just like my dad. He went on,
used to say that.
On the conspiracy theory stuff and whatnot. Well, it was kind of a difficult conversation because, I'm thinking, okay, is this dementia? Have we finally stepped over the line and we're into full-blown dementia here or what? So anyways, when I got off the phone from her, got her settled down a little bit, I did send an email off to one of the administrators over at the home and said, I had this call and everything and described it and said, I would really like to have my mother checked out by the nurse practitioner to see, well, the first thing I said to my mother, Mom, are you having a urinary tract infection? No, I'm fine. Because, well, you said your mom.
Well, yeah, my mom had dementia, but it always seemed to get really bad when she had a urinary tract infection. And it was actually discovered at a nursing home first. And then every time she started getting really, my mother had dementia. I could talk to her most of the time. But then all of a sudden she'd start going really off the wall. And then I'd ask for them to test her for urinary tract infection, and 9 times out of 10, that's what it was.
So, anyway, she says not, but I put in a request for the nurse practitioner, to check out my mother a little bit more. It could be the medication. She is on a new medication, but she's been on this new medication for about a month.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And this is such an about face in the way when I talked to her earlier in the week, she was fine. She's absolutely coherent and everything seemed to be good. So I don't know. But then today, just about an hour ago or so, I got a phone call from a staff member at the nursing home again, and they said that my mother was not feeling well. She didn't eat any breakfast. She didn't eat any lunch, and they've put in an order to mince her food, to serve her minced food. And that is something they often do when people have more dementia.
Yeah.
With them too. And she said she's in bed right now. The staff member said she's in bed right now resting and everything. And last week or earlier in the week when I got they called me again.
They said she threw up, right?
Yeah, they said that she had thrown up.
Now that could also have urinary tract infection, can make you feel bad too.
Yeah, so but I would have thought they would be checking.
Yeah, they don't always, because when I didn't assume anything at the nursing home that they would check, and I would say to them, and it's like lights went on every time I asked them. I'd say, "What about checking for urinary tract infection?"
Hi, Anita.
Hi, Anita. Welcome back. And it was like all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, we should do that.
So anyways, yeah, she had thrown up after she'd had her breakfast back in the middle of the week. And I said, now, has she been eating any sweets? Because my mother just inhales sweets. If she gets her hands on them, she's like a little kid. She doesn't know when to stop, and then she's sick. But she also has a bit of an eating disorder as well. I mean, it's never been diagnosed, but we think that's been there for years and years and years. And sometimes my mother will make herself sick, maybe for attention.
A couple people are chiming in here.
Oh, what?
Kathleen Davis said her mother-in-law, who is sharp as a tack, started asking where the dead family members were one day, and it was a UTI. And Anita worked in a home, so she said it's possibly a UTI.
Yeah, Marilyn says it's so difficult. I went through the same thing with my mom. I agree with possible UTI causing sudden changes. Anyways, I suppose...
Plus your mother doesn't drink very much.
No, she doesn't. She's a hard one to get liquids into. She's always been that way, though, her whole life. And actually, I'm kind of the same way. I do not drink enough.
Yeah, well, anyway, UTIs often happen when a prudent nurse would check the first change in the restaurant.
Yeah, and this is also making me think, Anita, right now. I'm not sure how many of the staff from the other place she was in moved to this new place. This one that's been calling me lately, I have the worst time trying to understand her accent. And I don't know if didn't come from my mother's place, if she came from... There's another place that came to this nursing home too. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about the staff right now in there. I mean, they all have the same training. They're all supervised in the same way as the old place, and it was excellent.
Well, they may not have tested her yet for UTI, but it may be on the list. So.
Well, I asked the staff member today. I said to her, okay, when she told me about putting her on minced and she'd thrown up and been sick and whatnot, and I said, okay, well, I've already talked to one of the administrators, and they're going to have the nurse practitioner look at her next week and everything. But I said, you probably already have this noted, but could you note it down in your paperwork or whatever that I would definitely like to have her checked out for dementia? Now, they did that supposedly at the end of May. But I wasn't too impressed by the result from that either. She got 15 out of 30 on however they do it. And the person I was talking to didn't seem to be too worried about it being only 15 out of 30. Well, coming from a school teacher background, if a kid gets 15 out of 30 on a test, they're borderline failing. So I don't think that's really good.
Well, I don't know. Well, if you really think, the problem is you're close to it. If you really think that your mother should have scored higher, but I don't know if she would have, because half the time when we went to visit her, she wouldn't know where she was.
Well, no, I don't know if I wasn't necessarily expecting her to score higher. What I was expecting is for them to tell me. They said, well, she's got a little bit. She's moderate.
Bonnie says.
Any changes in personality UTI should be checked. I'm still having to ask my mom's nursing home to check on her for a UTI. Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to push the issue for first of the week again. Yeah. So
it's an easy thing to check for, and it's something that it's at least you can roll that out.
Yeah.
So.
But anyways, I find it very disturbing. I had a really rough time when I had to look after my father and everything. At that stage of the game, I didn't know what I was doing, and it all worked out. He passed away. Sorry, I have to say it, but that's what happened in the end result, right? And, I'll admit to it that the day my dad passed away, it was very sudden and the whole bit, but I know the one thing that went through my mind, there was a great amount of relief. And that was because I didn't know what to do. I couldn't do anything more for him. He ended up in a nursing home. He lasted there for about 6 weeks, and that was it. Then he was gone. So, and now I'm having to deal with my mother on all of this.
Yeah, but Kathleen, I don't think his mother's planning to operate on anybody.
Don't you say anything? I want to that's good.
That's true. If you go to see your doctor, you don't know what he got to pass or her.
No, that's true.
Right? You just know that she somehow, her or him suddenly was able to get their degree.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's next week's project with my mother. Is I'm going to have to do a little bit of major pushing, I think. I need some answers. Like, I can live with the fact that she's got dementia. I would like to know how severe it is. I would like to know, check the UTI thing and all that kind of stuff and whatnot. But at least, though, unlike my father, my mother at least is in a place where they have training and know how to look after these people. My father, that wasn't until near the end for him that we finally were able to get him into a place. But it's just, the only thing I think about is my brother who lives in BC. He knows none of this stuff. And the reason is because I don't bother to write to him about it, because he doesn't answer me. So, he's been spared all of this. And my sister.
You should write him.
Yeah, what am I going to tell him? I don't know anything more. And
no.
You know the answer I'll get? If I get anything, it'll be, oh, thanks. That's all I get from him. I mean, I know he can't do anything about it either. And
well, at least he should have more dialogue with you about it.
Well, with my brother, it's always been, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. He's in BC, we're in Ontario.
I mean, even though I never got along with my sister that passed away, we still, when there was a major problem with my mother, we always ended up somehow communicating.
I mean, I tell my sister everything, but my sister basically looks to me to make all the decisions on everything. Well, okay.
Well, that's how I got stuck with that too. I had two sisters, and I was the one that got stuck with making all the decisions.
Yeah. Just see what Anita says. Yes, it's hard to see them go downhill. It's very stressful in dealing with an elderly parent no matter what. That's true. It's very frustrating, she says. Yes, it is. And can you get into the nursing home yet? Nope.
Well, they're coming out with new guidelines, I think, on the 7th of July or something. But I don't know what those guidelines are yet.
No.
So hopefully soon.
So
I figure if unvaccinated staff can get in, vaccinated family members should be able to.
Well, that's true. Well, we'll get into that part of it in a bit. Anyways, that's the latest one. I'm a little uptight about it, as you probably can tell. I guess it's because I really have no control, and I am the kind of person that likes to have control. So, Bonnie says, we are able to go into the NH Monday to Friday now, which in-person visit gives you such a better knowing of how your mother is doing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little worried about all of this right now. I think we're opening up too quick. at least in Ontario. And we have, the stupid ends of Canada that are, and when I say that, I mean Alberta, who are, I'm sorry, I mean, if that insults people in Alberta, so be it, because they're just being dumb in Alberta.
They're going a little bit too fast, I think.
They're just...
Especially with this Delta variant.
I mean, they have a lottery out there, so people, if they get entered into the lottery if they get a shot. Okay, come on.
I mean, don't you need to? I think the viruses should be more.
Shouldn't that be your incentive?
Your incentive.
Shouldn't life be your incentive? But no, let's dangle a lottery ticket in front of you. Oh yeah, I'll get a vaccine now. I got a lottery ticket. Wow. Aaron says, I would push for a full MD exam blood work. Well, they do blood work with her all the time on a regular basis.
Usually pretty good.
Yeah. So,
Well, actually, blood work doesn't always work because, like, when my mom had dementia, first I had signs of dementia, and we took her actually to a mental hospital to have her evaluated. And we went through a lot of tests with her to get her evaluated, and they eventually came up, and it took a while for them to try and figure out what she had. They came to the conclusion she had something called dementia with Lewy bodies, but it was still unsure that she had that or not. So she just had all the symptoms of it.
Well, I don't know. Bonnie says they're doing well out there. It's all by protocol. Yeah, well, that's good. Because we're doing better here in Ontario, but anyways, let's get off my mother's case because there isn't much I can do about it. So electrolytes could be out of whack if she's not drinking. Yeah, it could be lots of things. It could be lots of things. So who knows? Anyways, let's move on off my mother. What have you been working on?
Well, I'm still doing my jean jacket, but I do it like once every week with my class. So I do only what we have to do during that week and get caught up for the next class. So I'm almost caught up for the next class. I only have to put some interfacing on it. But I can show you the front of one of my panels just to show how it's coming along. This is one of my panels with the front pocket. Can I see that? Yeah. That's the front pocket. That's one of the panels. So hopefully I'll have the rest of it done. We're supposed to be doing a what do you call it? A pocket where you just put your stuff in.
Oh, okay.
Your hands in later on Monday. So
show them your shirt.
Yeah,
show them the shirt that you're having problems with.
I'm working on this shirt. Actually, I did most of it in one day, right? And then I've been letting it sit there because I have to do the collar next. And then I found out that I cut the collar wrong, so I had to recut it again today.
So, like, how did you cut it wrong?
Well, the collar, the guy that teaches the class had it set up so the collar is normally in two pieces. Where you change the collar so that it's all one piece, and you fold it up. But you have to cut it on the fold of the fabric, and if you cut the wrong end on the fold of the fabric, it's not the right length. So I've done this twice now. So this is the second.
I think you
time.
learned the first time.
No. I did this twice on two different shirts.
Oh.
Where I've cut the collar from the wrong side, so then when I go to fold it up, it's too short.
Yeah.
So,
Anita says, "Love the fabric." Where'd you get that fabric? Is that the?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's called Into the Woods or something like that. It's a Northcott fabric, I think.
Well, where did you get it?
I got it Ultimate Sewing.
Oh, was that Ultimate Sewing?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have one exactly like that, only it's all shades of gray.
Oh. 50 Shades?
Yeah, pretty much.
50 Shades of Gray. Oh, okay. Hi, Judith. So that's all. You've been working on anything else?
Not really.
You were out digging weeds out of your crabgrass.
Yeah, I was. I closed up the hot tub again after we got it fixed, and
that's on my list.
Well,
no, your back, the back lawn It's you put in all that grass seed and everything, and now we have crabgrass.
Yeah, ticked off.
Do you think the seed had crabgrass seed in it?
I'm wondering if the soil that I used had crabgrass seed in it.
Where did the soil come from?
Okay, it was Scott's
Turf builder?
Turf builder grass. It was 4-grass seed. I think it had wrong grass seed in it. Either that, or actually we had crabgrass last year, so I did. But I pulled a lot of it out.
I wonder if bunnies like crabgrass.
No, they eat only the good stuff.
Well, that's too bad. They should train them to eat the crabgrass because they're in the backyard all the time anyways. Well, at least it's green. The crabgrass is the right color.
Yeah, well, I'm still working. It's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
Been spending too much time on that stupid lawn.
Yeah. Well, what were you you were digging out weeds, but not crabgrass.
Yeah, I was digging out crabgrass.
Oh, you were digging out crabgrass.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were digging out something else.
No.
I don't know. Old men like to dig, I guess, apparently. I'm not old enough to know that. So that's what you've been working on. What have I been working on? Okay, so I made more pin cushions. Of course I made more pin cushions.
Well, you showed those ones last week.
Did I show these last week? You saw my bunnies last week.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm losing it. I feel like I'm losing it anymore. I'm telling you. We'll talk about that later. I made these ones, though. One's a little one, one's a bigger one. These are 3D printed, and then I put the top in it. They're just little baskety things, kind of look. But I thought they're kind of cute. But I got to get off this kick of making pin cushions because they're coming.
How many pin cushions do you need?
Well, these are prototypes.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking for the ultimate ones so I can make them for Christmas
I like
gifts.
the toilet one.
Oh, the toilet one. Yeah. I showed that last week. So now I'm working on Halloween with my 3D printer. You can't be too prepared, right? So this little house here, this is a little spooky house. No, I showed these earlier today to my art journaling ladies, and they wanted to know if you could put a tea light in them. Well, you can't. They're solid on these ones. But I kind of like this, so I made it this size, and then I decided to blow it up, and I made one this size.
So how did you get the windows a different color?
Okay, and that's what I was asked. That is the windows. If you look at it sideways, you'll see that the window pieces are raised a little bit. Well, if I was very clever with the programming in a 3D printer, I would be able to put in a line of code that would stop the printer, pause it, so I could change out filament, put in another color filament to finish off the windows. And I tried that, but I'm not clever enough because it didn't work. So what I do instead is I use Sharpie. I used an orange Sharpie on that.
I kind of wondered if you had printed out different colored pieces.
No, I used an orange Sharpie. You could paint them. So then I decided to go bigger again and in a different color. So this is what, okay, getting these in the shot right. So this one's actually purple. Looks like it's reading blue.
Yeah, it looks
on
blue
the screen.
on the screen,
but it's actually purple. And with the black, and I use the same. The orange Sharpie seems to work the best. I tried some other colors, and they didn't seem to work as well as the orange Sharpie. So
is that purple one got the orange Sharpie on it too?
Yep.
Actually, all the windows almost look copper on it.
I guess because it's on top of purple, maybe that's what it is. Boy, it does. It looks like blue.
Yeah, I know. I had that same color shift when I was showing people fabric, because the fabric sort of, I had fabric that was sort of a teal color, and it kept showing up blue.
But that's what I've been working on. Now, right now, the printer over there is making pumpkins. But I'm doing them in a way I've never done before. There's something called, these pumpkins, the way they were designed, they're being printed on their side, which means there's not a lot of surface area for them to clamp onto the bottom plate. And that means that halfway through your print, they could just like pull off. But there's a way to get around that. You print something called a raft, which is basically a thin layer of plastic that lays on the bed first, and then it builds the model on top of that, and it gives better adhesion. Also, though, there are some spots that need to be supported. So I'm trying something I've never used before called tree supports, branch supports. And it basically looks like a little tree, and these little pieces come out to where they need to be supported, and then afterwards, when you take it off the printer, you can pull those off. and they're supposed to be easier to pull off than the other types of supports that you can use. Well, I've never used tree supports. And right now, as I look at it over there, it's looking really weird. But I think it's working. Well, we'll find out in about 14 hours. So, when it gets done.
A little curious, did you put glue under that?
Yes, I did. And actually, I tried the experiment on the Benchy without glue today. Benchy's a little model that you use to check your settings on your printer. Yeah, I need glue. I mean, so, but anyways. What are people saying here? Cute like those?
Kara, from Illinois.
Kara or Kara? Hi, Kara or Kara. I'm not sure which way to say your name. Yeah, I'm ahead of the seasonal decor. Well, I'm also working on, actually, Virginia, yeah, you're right. That's, actually, I have a haunted village that I made last year with the in the hoop embroidery. So now I'm just going to add to all of that. I actually want to start printing out houses. There are all kinds of miniature houses that come from different time periods and things like that that you can download for free and print out. And I want to try and do some of that.
Houses too?
No, yes, there was one. I think I downloaded it actually because I thought it'd be good for a screen. It was an outhouse, but that coming up to that, yeah, actually an outhouse. So anyway, speaking of seasonal stuff, I downloaded some embroidery patterns, some gnomes, and some really elegant looking Santa Clauses that I think I can make into some really nice table runners for Christmas. So I started working on that. Patsy says, I don't understand how the 3D printers work. Welcome to the club, Patsy. No, actually,
they're fairly simple.
Yeah.
They if you have had or used an embroidery machine, that's sort of like a 2D printer.
Yeah.
If you really want to look at it, because you give it a pattern and the machine stitches it out for you, right? But if you get a 3D printer, it's like, if you can imagine a giant glue gun.
Yeah. You know how in a glue gun, you have hard glue sticks, you stick them in, it melts it down, squirts out, right? Essentially, that's how a 3D printer works. It has something they call an extruder. All an extruder is a set of gears that grab onto a long, thin piece of filament that's on a big roll, and it's just like a continuous coil of filament, and it pulls it into the system, and through a tube, it runs it into what they call the hot end, which is basically like the nozzle on the end of a glue gun. It heats up really hot, it melts the plastic when it goes in there, and as the plastic's being pushed through by these gears on the extruder, it comes down and drops onto a heated plate, which is the bed. Now, between all that, there is a program that's in the machine that tells it where the the hot end, the part that's like the end of a glue gun, where it should be located as the plastic comes pouring out of it. Well, it doesn't really pour, it's kind of a slow ooze. And it just builds up one layer after another layer.
Yeah, so actually the plastic that's coming through, other than if you compare it to a glue gun, is actually very fine. It's a very fine amount of material. Whereas a glue gun, you get a big glob of it, right? But I mean, in this stuff, it's really fine and very minute.
Yeah.
And it builds it up slowly over and over and over again to give you a 3D product. So, like, if you look at these really close, you can see lines. You can see lines on it, and the lines are.
See the lines in the
lines are each layer.
Yeah.
Of the print, right? So, like, if you got a glue gun, for instance, if you had a glue gun, you get hot, and you started taking your glue gun and you started going around in a circle and laid the glue on top of each other over and over and over again. That's sort of the idea what the 3D printer is doing.
But in the meantime, so you have a Cartesian set of axes, meaning you have an X, a Y, and a Z. X-axis, Z-axis goes up and down, Y-axis goes sideways, and The other axis,
Z.
or the z-axis goes, no, the z goes up and down. The x goes this way, like the flat bed, and the y goes this way. So things I need a third hand.
What do you mean by face masks, Bonnie? Like
You mean clear ones?
like
The shields? Is that what you're talking about? Yes, you can make the shields. Well, you can't make the clear part, but you can make the band that holds that clear part, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You can make that. In fact, during the COVID stuff, there were people actually doing that. They were producing for hospitals, for frontline workers, those pieces, and they buy the plastic or something, and it gets screw nailed or riveted into it.
The actual prints won't give you a clear plastic.
No.
You can't do that.
You can't do that because they haven't developed a plastic for these machines that you can actually see through. They're translucent. I have some. It's called translucent or clear filament, and actually I made a Santa's Village kind of a thing, Christmas Village, using nothing but the transparent stuff, because they were designed in such a way that you can put little lights up inside of it and you'll get a glow. It'll come through. You can see it, but it's not clear enough like a pane of glass, like a window. You can't see through it that way.
The filaments, they have all these different kinds or brands of filament that you can use, and they're all different formulations of different materials, and it's not necessarily plastic.
No, they make ones like what I use is called PLA. That's the most common form of plastic used in 3D printers. It's the easiest to melt. It doesn't give off any fumes, and it actually is biodegradable, so they claim.
Yeah, actually, I think there's a component of it that's cornstarch.
Yeah. But then they have something called ABS, which takes a little higher temperature, but you can have other problems with it. And there's one that I have bought too, but I haven't used it a lot, which is stronger than this PLA, called PETG. You get into all these terms and all these initials, and they all stand for the chemical compounds that make up these products. You can get some, though, that have a carbon base to them, and they're really, really strong, and they're supposed to be a real bugger to print because they wreak havoc on your nozzle, the hot end. You need special upgrades to your printer in order to handle those kind of things. There's even stuff that's flexible as well, but again, there's a lot of problems. The problem with the 3D printer for home use is that they're not plug and play. You got to tinker with them. They can be very frustrating.
They can be temperamental.
Very temperamental, and they don't work perfectly every time. And sometimes there's just certain things you just can't print.
Yeah, like you can't. It's not like you could buy like a Cricut or something like that, and just plug it in and expect it to work. It's they're very fiddly.
The technology is not there yet where you can go like buying yourself a printer. A regular paper printer.
Yeah.
You walk into a store, you buy a printer, you come home, you plug it in, bang, it's plug and play. It goes. These are not plug and play.
First of all, the ones that look like the ones Steve bought, you have to assemble it, put it all together.
Some assembly required. That was 3 hours of hell.
It's not.
It's not hard, but it's not easy.
It wasn't beyond us, but there was a lot of technical stuff in there that the average person would have some difficulty with. And
we had a manual open and watched a video at the same time as we're putting it together. When I say we, I mean Walter was putting it together. I was giving direction from the videos and the manuals. So there was a lot of cursing and swearing. Now, having said that, that was our very first time ever having one of these. I wouldn't be so intimidated to buy a second one about the putting it together, because I've learned a lot I haven't had it quite a year yet, but I've had it for about 9 months. I wouldn't be so afraid of it because of things that I have learned now from it, and I actually do kind of want a second one, but a second one not the same as the one that I bought, but one that's a little bigger. I can make bigger things on it. Yes, Patsy, I do have a Cricut. In fact, I had 2 Cricuts at the moment, but I've been through 3. Yeah, and to be honest, I don't use my Cricut like I used to. I have a Cricut maker, and I bought it specifically not because there's anything wrong with my old Cricut, which is right behind us. That Cricut, Walter actually bought that for my birthday one year, and I haven't used it in years now. It just sits there gathering dust. I have a maker, and I bought it because they were toting that it could cut fabric better because they had a little rotary cutter blade. Yeah, I've had a lot of problems with that, but I know other people that haven't, and that's kind of like 3D printers too. Depends on the person. Everybody has different experiences.
Which do you like best?
Right now Keith's having a fit to get our new Shark vacuum cleaner together. 3D printers. Which do I like the best? You mean between the Air and the Maker? I like the Maker better, because the Maker is easier to set up what kind of material you're going to cut with than the Air, and yeah, and I mean, I use it. I still use it. It's just that because I'm not so much into the paper stuff anymore like I used to be, I don't use it as much. Okay, I have a brother scan and cut too, Angel, and when I had it way before I ever got a Cricut, and I absolutely loved it when I first got it. It sits over there rotting in another corner. There were things about it I didn't really like. The thing about the Maker too that definitely put the brother scan and cut in the back burner. Now mine's an older brother scan and cut. I know there's a newer models out.
Probably the first edition.
Yeah, pretty much a first generation one. But I know the ones they have now are much better than the one I have. But I bought it because I really love the scan and cut feature, as it calls it. Like when you push in something, like you could take rubber stamps and stamp them on your cardstock, and then it would go through and actually scan that, and then it would cut it out. Yeah, it would cut it out, sort of cut it out, not cut it out. Something went out. My light over top. I thought I saw a flash.
No, I didn't see anything. You're imagining things.
Okay, now my retinas are detaching. I don't know. Anyways, the Maker does a better job of that, although it doesn't have a built-in scanner with it. But anyways, it's whatever you get used to. They're both okay machines for that matter. No, I've never used the Joy, Patsy. Quite frankly, I can't see the point of the Joy if you already own one of the other machines. Unless you want to take it with you, say you're going to a crop or something. It's nice and compact and everything like that, and if you're not cutting anything too big.
It sounds to me like Patsy doesn't have a regular Cricut, so she's trying to figure out what to get.
Oh, maybe.
So, like, would you get, like, you had a small one too, didn't you?
Yeah, they don't sell that one anymore. Okay, the Micro, that's what I started
Isn't that
with.
what the Joy is, a smaller version?
No, they're very different. They
okay.
improved it. Don't confuse the issue with something that's old technology that nobody has anymore because they don't make it
she
anymore.
was saying about making a...
Just made a wall decal that is 4 feet long with it. Yeah, it'll do that continuous speed thing, but now on the Maker you can as well. You can do that too, because they've got these rolls of vinyl now. I don't do much stuff in vinyl. It seems that that's really what Cricut is now geared up towards, to people who want to do all these decals and things like that. And I'll be honest, they have no appeal to me. I'm not interested in making boards with cute little sayings on them and sticking them all over my house or decorating a room with them. Nothing against it. If that's what people like to do, so be it. It doesn't have any appeal to me at all. Yeah, you've probably got one that's much newer than the model I have, Bonnie. I probably should try some things with it again, but
how many do you need?
Yeah, so I've got 3 electronic cutting machines. Not to mention die cutting machines, 2, 3D printer. You don't want to know how many computers we have in this house. So
we got lots of computers.
We have lots of computers.
I have 3 for sure. One I don't use.
Well, right now where we're sitting, there are 1, 2, 3 computers out in this room. There's one in a case sitting down through. All work. They all work. I don't use them all, but anyways, yeah, we
So
go.
Patsy said that I was right about her trying to decide which one to get.
Well, basically, Patsy, what I would say is, unless you're looking for something because you want to take it to a class or to a crop, the Joy might be the way to go. But otherwise, I would spend the money and buy a maker.
Okay, what about fabric applique?
Yeah, okay, that's the problem I'm having with mine. It worked for me once on fabric applique. And I don't know I think there's something wrong with my machine. That's the maker, yeah. Now, the scan and cut, Bonnie can tell you. She uses hers for applique, and it's a little bit more involved using the scan and cut than it is with the maker, and I never had any luck having my brother scan and cut fabric. I mean, you have to lay it on a special sheet. Now, that may have changed to the new one, and Bonnie would know better because I'm sure hers is much newer than mine. When I say mine's old by about, well, I bought it just after I retired, so it's almost 10 years old. 10 years ago that I bought it. So I don't know. Yeah, we like toys, Judith. We're all about toys. But one more thing that I was going to show you. This is a crappy quilt, and I'm going to, in order to show this to you, I have to switch the camera for a second. So I'm doing that now. It should come up on your screen in just a moment.
So I'm going to grab another beer around here.
Fine, grab me one too, please. You do realize they can see you moving. It's because of the time delay.
Yeah, I know.
You think that they're saying where, but it should come up here on your screen in a second. Here it comes. It should be coming. So is Christmas. Okay, where is it? I got a blank. Sorry, people, if you've got a blank screen at the moment, we're still here. I don't know why it's taking its own sweet time here. Oh, okay. Just a second. What is going on? I had this all working before we all got on here today,
And you can't get it work?
It doesn't like me. Okay, people, we're still here. You can hear us talking. Just... Okay, come on. Try this again. Bear with me. Okay, here we go. You should be able to see it in just a second. We need a studio. Okay, so I am not sure why this is not coming. Oh, it's coming there. Okay, there it is. All right. Okay, everybody should be able to see that now. All right. Did I show this last week?
I think you might have.
Okay, this one I did. I probably showed it last week. I know I showed it on my vlog, but this isn't the one I wanted you to see. I showed that one on the Idiot Quilter too, but this is one. I just sort of finished this one this morning. Now, when I say sort of finish, it's a panel. These are outhouses that are on here. And originally when I saw this fabric line, I thought it was kind of funny. So I bought the pattern and I bought the fabric, but the pattern was to make a table runner or one of those toilet tank cloths, which I think are disgusting. I mean, I had bad experience with being in houses where people had those, you know what I'm talking about. They're like a little tablecloth for the back on your toilet tank, and any place where I ever saw them, they looked like they needed to be really well washed. They were disgusting. So I was going to make it into the table runner like the pattern said, but then I got looking at it and think, well, would you really want to put this on your table? I mean, it's kind of funny, but really, what's that saying about your food you're serving your guests? That you're serving them something shitty? So I don't know. So I decided I'd just make it into a quick little lap quilt. Now, it hasn't been quilted or layered yet. But I'm going to do some free motion quilting on it. I don't really care. So I'll just practice my free motion quilting on it.
So it'll be shitty.
So it'll be shitty. So I can call it my shitty quilt. My crappy quilt. Whatever. But, you know, yeah, got to do something novelty every now and then, I guess. So let's get it back to us here. And webcam. And there we go. And too many buttons to push. Okay. Still talking about the scan and cut. My scan and cut does a great job with applique, minus the 225. Yeah, that's definitely beyond the one I've got. Okay, B. Bye-bye. My deal, that was the DX230. Okay. So anyways, yeah. That's what I've been up to. So, okay. We had our hot tub repaired. We had a leak. So we think we told you about that, though, didn't we? Because that was last Saturday.
Yeah, it was last Saturday.
So
far, I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's not leaking anymore,
I
is
don't
it?
think so. It's still a little wet in the corner because the insulation got wet. So.
Well, so that's still drying out, is it?
Yeah, but the level hasn't dropped any. So.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so that's one less thing. Who knows? There could be more.
Who knows? It could spring a leak again somewhere else because it's a 20-year-old tub. So it's more than 20-year-old tub. So.
Yeah.
And we run it all year long, including the winter. So.
Yeah, but we're never in it. But
yeah, well, I'm sure. Yeah, the last little while we haven't been in it.
So I didn't see Jules on here today. But I got some happy mail from Jules, and I think you may have remembered me talking about this. This is a book. She was cleaning out her mother's house some time ago, found this book, thought of me because she knows I love K-Facet fabrics, and she sent this to me. Well, this took like 6 weeks to get here, and I believe Jules lives in Wisconsin, so really not on the other end of the world from us. But yeah, so it's nice to see that the American Postal Service is just as reliable as the Canadian Postal Service. But it finally got here. It's a beautiful book, you know, of his fabrics and things. And there's patterns in here as well. The only thing about the patterns in this book, and this is not a reflection, I'm not looking a gift horse in the mouth or anything like this. It's a beautiful book, and I appreciate it very much, is that the patterns are very basic. It's the fabric that makes them.
Right. Well, I think that's usually what
with the
K-Facet. Yeah. You don't want anything too busy, right?
Because because already busy. Yeah. Well, that one's kind of nice, yeah. But you know, that's reminiscent of the one that I did from my grandmother's quilt. But anyways, I appreciated it very much. That was really nice of her to think of me and send that to me. It's too bad it took forever to get here, but it did get here.
Yeah, so, thankfully.
Yeah.
Because we were getting worried that it wouldn't make it.
Yeah.
So. But it goes to show you, if businesses seem to be able to send stuff quickly, it's just the average person that sends something in.
Yeah, to get it out to you. So anyway, so that was a nice thing in the mail. I mean, I like getting things in the mail, like mostly parcels, because, you know, my motto is, a day without a delivery from Amazon is a day without sunshine. And speaking of which, I got one today. I got little alligator clips. You know the kind of little clips that you when you buy a shirt and you take it off the cardboard, they have these little clips, you know, that you're pulling out the whole bit, little plastic things. Well, I saw a YouTube video where a woman was organizing her fabrics, and she likes to take her fat quarters and put them on little pieces of cardboard that are 5 1/4 inches square, and to hold them onto it very neatly, she uses these little alligator clips. And I got thinking, actually, those would be really handy. Now, I'm not going to spend all my time refolding my fat quarters on little squares of cardboard. I think that's a little anal. But, of course, mind you, I have been known to do things like that. But I thought it would be great when I've got bundles of fabric that my scraps and things, I could put these little clips on some of them to keep them a little bit neater and things like that. And, I mean, they were cheap. You got a package of 100 for $8 or something from Amazon, so what the heck. Oh, that's weird, Bonnie, because I've had layer cakes of K-Facet, and I've never had any problem with the quality.
Yeah, actually, I did one of those rugs from the K-Facet fabric, and I didn't really notice that it was any different in quality than any other stuff.
And I think the company that he deals with or that does his fabrics is Free Spirit. And I've had lots of stuff from that company, never had any problem.
That's strange.
Yeah, Miriam says, that would be a great idea. I bought those cards, but I cannot get my fabric to stay on them. Yeah, well, check out, her name is Patty Mac, as in Pattymac. This was her latest video on YouTube. Check it out, because that might be of help to you, Marilyn. Joan says, I have the clear little alligator clips for the fabric, and they're great for holding ribbon and cords from unraveling. I hadn't thought of that, but that's exactly the same ones that I've got, Joan. That's not a bad idea. So, yeah, and for what they cost, really, I think they'll come in handy. Should have saved all the ones we pulled off shirts over the years.
Yeah.
Didn't think about that. So anyways, we did have today, before we went to air, I had my monthly art journal group meeting. And I've already posted it up on YouTube. And I posted, as you know, because they have, this group of ladies are extremely talented. And they always come up with really new and innovative ideas for making cards, especially cards, because they're majorly into card making and ATCs. So if you're into those two things, you should check it out, because there may be some things there you never knew you could do. And a lot of it is stuff that you probably have in your stash if you're, you know, an avid card maker. So that's already up on the channel for this month. And our container garden's doing really well.
Yep.
We've got lettuce coming out of the yin yang, and we're soon going to have cherry tomatoes coming out of the yin yang too. And you know, there's something about eating lettuce that you've grown in your own garden. It just tastes better.
Well, that, you know, well, I know it's organic because I haven't done. Yeah. I haven't put any kind of. I haven't, you know, put any kind of pesticide on it or anything like that. And same with tomatoes and stuff like that. So
yeah, so it should be good. Plus, we got all kinds of herbs. I mean,
I don't know, the tomatoes you buy in the grocery store anymore have no flavor.
No, I know. No, they don't. So hopefully these ones do have flavor. We went out the other day to a farmer's market, sort of a small farm kind of thing, to get some strawberries and stuff. Boy, those cost an arm and a leg. We bought what, a quart basket?
4-quart container, isn't it?
I don't think it was 4 quarts. I think it might have been 3.
Oh, it's a 3?
Yeah, $16.99 for strawberries. 16.
No, I think it's a 4-quart because I'll have to take a look at it again.
I thought the sign said 3.
Okay.
Or did it say 3 pints? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
So
quarts and pints, I'm not sure about.
Anyways, their berries are nice, but boy, really expensive.
Well, and actually, they're not as expensive as the other farm that's in Bowmanville. What do you charge for a 1-quart container? $6.99.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay. The one in Bowmanville charges $8.99.
I guess it's not organic unless no one in a 2-mile radius uses chemicals. Yeah. But anyways, so I just, you know, the funny thing is, though, they had tomatoes and they had some other things, but it's too early for tomatoes here in our area. And I mean, we're getting close, but it's too early. And we suspect that, and this is something we saw on a show called Marketplace, which is a Canadian program. It's been on TV for years. And a lot of these so-called farmers markets or small farm things, not all the produce comes from their farm. Some of it comes from the same places as the stuff in the grocery store,
and
which
actually,
means from California
I
or wherever.
Look at their tomatoes, and their tomatoes look an awful lot like the ones that you buy in the grocery stores. So I didn't trust that they were actually grown there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really. We're not really doing it about prices for saving money on produce or anything. It's more like I like the fact that it's fresh, that we get it out of our garden, and actually the tomatoes taste a lot better. So we started doing it last year. Yeah. We did it in our old house, but I mean up until the last year we started doing it because of COVID, because we wasn't sure how the supply was going to work with COVID, and we sort of kind of got hooked on it, and we just did it again this year.
But we're doing it as container gardens on our deck, so we're up 1 story from our backyard where we're doing it. Because if we put a garden in our backyard, the bunnies would eat everything.
Yeah, right now at least
And the chipmunks.
And the chipmunks.
And the squirrels.
Yeah, because I had some tomatoes down, some cherry tomatoes last year down. I had some on the deck, and then I had some down on the ground level last year. And we didn't have any, pretty much none that I could pick from the ones downstairs because all the chipmunks ate all of them.
Yeah. And the little varmints, anyways, they take a bite and throw the rest of it away.
Yeah, they'd take a bite and you'd find all these half-bitten tomatoes and you can't. I'm not going to use those. So
Bonnie says for it's at $16.99 is pretty good. I think I paid $5.99 for a quart. I don't think we have a 4-quart
I have to look
basket.
at the basket.
I'm pretty sure it's only 3. Because I was reading their little sign and it registered on me going,
okay,
why is it?
No, actually, you're probably right that it's a 3 because $6.99 times 3 is what? It's
$18. Well, $21.
Yeah. No, that's 7. Yeah, that's right, $21.
$16.99.
Yeah, so it's probably a 3-quart.
Yeah, I think it's 3-quart. And he says, we just saw a rabbit in the yard this morning in chipmunks. Oh, God, you can have some of ours. They don't even move when we're there. They just, oh, hi, how are you? I'm eating your lawn. Okay, thank you. And the chipmunks, they go, some for us? Like, chipmunks are very destructive. They're cute as hell, but they're destructive as hell, and they know it. Bonnie says, I really don't think it's much cheaper to grow your own, but it's sure nice knowing where the produce is coming from. Yeah, I mean,
technically it's probably a little cheaper. But, I mean, that's not why we're doing it. It's more like we know where it's coming from. Yeah. And it actually tastes better.
At least that's what we're telling ourselves and we're going with it.
Well, no, I think it does taste better.
I think it does. We eat more salads in the summer than we do the rest of the year because we're eating our own lettuce. And we have a variety of lettuce out there. Plus, I add herbs and things to the salad as well. So, you know, because we've got basil, we've got tarragon. What else do we have? We have...
rosemary, tarragon, what was that? Oregano, and parsley.
Yeah. Joan says, I have half-bitten plums from the squirrels taking a bite and throwing them down. Yeah, they're obnoxious. Marilyn says the chipmunks ate through her air conditioning wires, so that's always good. Okay, Angel. See you next week. Bye-bye. Yeah, I don't know. But they're so cute. Yeah, Anita, that's right. It just feels good. It's fascinating to watch it. And boy, the lettuce, when it comes on, it comes on. We have a lot of lettuce. And I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of cherry tomatoes, too. But anyways, it's good to do. So, where are we? Oh, geez. Never get to the main topic, but that's okay. We will eventually. Okay, I need something from you people. Listen up. I have, this week on the Idiot Quilter, will be the first week in a long while since I started doing this, showing people's quilts or their crafts. I have none to show. It has dried up. I need people to send me a picture or two with a brief little 3 or 4 sentence blurb about a quilt, a sewing project, a craft item, whatever, so I can show it off on the Idiot Quilter. Okay, so don't be shy. And while I'm speaking of this, I need people to interview. I'm running out. I think I have an interview I'm doing next week. I've got one already in the can. It'll come out next week. And I'm interviewing somebody next week. Actually, it's Johan from Australia, which should be a really interesting interview. And then after that, I have 2 people set up, but they haven't gotten back to me to tell me when they want me to do it. One is Fidel. Is Fidel on here today? I haven't seen him. No. Because he was, originally I was going to interview him last week, but he wanted to wait until they got his cabinetry into, I guess he's redoing his whole sewing room, and he wanted to show that, which is great because I want to see it. But he hasn't got back to me as to, when we can do it. And then I had another person that I lined up, but she's waiting to hear about some surgery on her hand, so her life's kind of on hold right now. So I need other people. And when I say other people, Bonnie, dear Bonnie, we've had this chat before, Bonnie. Bonnie, I want to interview you. Okay? Because I'm sure you have lots to say about things. I will give you guide questions that you can alter to your own specific needs. You're already talking about your scan and cut and applique. I think that would be interesting to talk about on the interview. So, Bonnie, send me an email. It's in the show notes, and we'll set up a time. Wendy, you've sent me several times. You've sent me examples of your handiwork. I want to interview you, Wendy. You too. Anita, we need to talk. Yeah, I know you're moving, honey, and I know you're just all up in the air about that, but we can work around that little schedule. But
Bonnie's not interesting. Yes, you are, Bonnie.
Yes, you are, Bonnie. Yes, you are.
Let's see.
I'll make you interesting. Okay? So don't worry. Andy put up a big fuss, and I got her, and look how great that interview was, those of you that have watched it. So, never say never on that. And the rest of you out there, Patsy. I want to interview you, Patsy.
What about Anita?
I just said Anita. Where were you? In another room?
Yeah, I was.
What, did the time warp
Not
swallow?
listening to you.
Apparently not. God, you're worse than if I had a wife. So anyways, any of you that come on here regularly, you're all interesting. Everybody's interesting. So, yes, please, 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 please. Don't be shy. I won't bite unless you want me to. Really. I give you guide questions. You can alter them to suit yourself. It isn't, why you, Patsy? Because I am sure that you are interesting. Do I need a reason to want to interview people that come on here? Everybody's got a story. So, yeah. Plus, I love your name, Patsy.
Anyway, Anita asks if our temperatures are hotter in Canada this year. Well, in Ontario, I don't think they are. I don't think they have been any hotter than they normally are.
No.
In fact, I think we've had cooler weather in Ontario so far this year. However, in Western Canada, it definitely has been hotter.
They're just cooking.
So
over 40 degrees C.
Yeah.
On some days.
But in Ontario, I can't say that we've been hotter. In fact, we've probably had a milder summer so far.
Can you say milder summer?
That's more like
milder winter.
We've had cool nights.
So we've had a cooler summer.
Cooler summer.
Yeah. Okay.
So far.
So who knows?
I mean, next week it'll probably get really hot.
Yeah, probably. So, now, Craft and Chat this week. Those of you that might be new, like Patsy, the first Wednesday of every month, I run a Zoom session called Craft and Chat. It runs for about 3 hours the afternoon of Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, which is July the 7th, not June, July the 7th. We start at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and go to about 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's a drop-in kind of a thing. If you can't come for the whole thing, there's no problem. It's very informal. We just get together. It's not a huge group. Anybody's welcome, though, to it. And we just work on whatever projects we've got. It doesn't matter whether it has anything to do with sewing or quilting. It can be crafting, whatever. I think one time Anita, who's a regular, she was making lists out for her move and stuff, and that's fine. And we just work on our projects and have friendly conversation, no drama, that kind of thing. So that's this coming Wednesday, and the link for the Zoom link is in the show notes. So you can just hop on there if you're free, if you're not working that day or whatever, and don't be shy. We have a good time every time. And then the biggie. I'm having what I call Steven's Creative Birthday Bash. That is this coming Saturday, July the 10th. My birthday's on July the 14th, so I want to do something for my birthday, but I want to make it available for people who are working as well. I tend to forget that there are still people in the world that work. When you're retired, you forget about that. That's going to start at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and run until 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But it's going to be a similar setup. You do not have to pre-register for it. You can join in anytime you want to, leave anytime you want to, work on whatever you want to. But this one I am going to have a couple of little video presentation kind of things, just things that have come from my past actually that I'm going to show on there. I am debating whether I'm going to have some prizes. And the reason I am debating is because I'm trying to figure out how I can do random draws when I don't have people registered. When I did the retreat in March, as those of you that were there know, it was easy for me to do random draws because I knew who was there and I assigned people a number and I just, threw them in the hat. Actually put them on my phone as a random number generator and pulled them out that way. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet. But it's all very informal, relaxed. It's just because I want to do something for my birthday special, and since we can't do what we would normally do for my birthday, which would be going to quilt country for 3 days and dropping a lot of ka-ching on fabric, this is my substitution for that. So anyways, there's links for it too in the show notes. So if you're around and you're interested, don't be shy. Everybody who's ever come on, who came on apprehensively, have told me afterwards they were so glad they did because they had a really good time. So that's what we're aiming for. Okay? So think about it.
Yeah, Wendy's asking what an ATC card is.
Oh, ATC card is an artist trading card. These are... I don't do them myself because I find them too small. Something about the size of them doesn't appeal to me. But what they are is they're 2 by 3 inches, or 2.5 by 3.5. And I think they're just 2 inches. Yeah, I think they're 2.5 inches by 3 inches. Anyway, small rectangle. The size of a trading card that you'd get with gum when we were kids. That kind of thing. Or sports cards, that kind of stuff. And you just do a little mini work of art. Now, it can be anything you want to do. You do a background on it. If you're into art journaling, it's sort of like a little tiny art journal. 1 page of an art journal kind of thing. You put stickers on it. They usually base them around a specific theme, at least the ladies in my art journaling group do. They pick themes for each month, and then you trade them. Or that's what a lot of people do. In my group's case, they make enough of the same card for everybody in the group, and then they exchange them. So there's 10 people in the group, so you get 10 different cards, or 9 different cards if you count yourself as one of the people in there. Now, what my group has been doing is they've been saving them up for several months in a row, and then they mail them because we can't get together physically. But when we could get together physically, we would trade them every month with it. They're kind of fun. The ones that tomorrow on my vlog, I'll be showing the latest bunch that I just got in the mail, and I showed some last week too on that. Actually, reach behind you, Walter, on my desk here, on my workbench. You see them?
Okay, these ones?
Yeah, those are, so she can get an exact idea of what this. So here's a set from one of the ladies in my group. She put them in this little plastic holder here. But this is what they look like, so you can see the size. So what are that? About 2.5 by 3.5 inches, I think. And on the back of them, some people make their own little labels and print their name and what the theme was and the date that they made it. That's for the trading aspect. But you can see that, rubber stamping. It's a great way to go through your stash of supplies. And if you've got some scrapbooking paper or something, you can use that up. Use your markers, use your die cuts, use your stamps, your stickers, all that kind of stuff. So I have a wall full of them because the ladies all, even though I don't participate in the trade, they make me one each. So every time, each month I get like 10 more of these these cards, kind of a thing. I'm running out of room because they're little mini works of art, for sure.
Judith asked if we bought any fabric on Soya.
No, I know they do an auction thing, kind of a sale every week. And the reason that I haven't bought any from them is because they're in Las Vegas, and it's the exchange rate between Canada and the United States. Although lately our exchange rate's been slightly better, and the shipping is just astronomical.
Well, not only that, a lot of times, depending on how it gets sent, we can end up having to pay duty on it too. So it can become quite expensive to order fabric from the United States for us. So
I watch them all the time, but
like I've ordered stuff from fabric.com before, and it because I specifically wanted a particular fabric, and it looks cheap when I order it, even with the exchange rate. But by the time I add shipping on top of that, and then when it comes across the border here, I end up having to pay duty on it. So it ends up becoming very expensive.
Yeah. So that's why I've never ordered any from them at all. But I do love watching those guys. They're quite the nutty brothers on there. They have this other part of their channel where they basically take a sewing machine and try to say, will it sew? And they hit it with machetes and sledgehammers and throw it off things, blow it up, shoot it. Okay, you might be a redneck when you're target practicing on a sewing machine. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But anyways, which is quite funny in a very twisted way, I guess. But then I like twisted humor, so yeah. So anyways, wow, where's the time gone? I did put down here, now people think it's clickbait, COVID paranoia, and the only reason I brought that up is because I am still not comfortable with going out in public for any length of time. We went off to a farmer's market, and I'm sitting in the car before we got out, and there were a ton of people, and everybody's wearing their mask and things like that, even though it was outdoors, but there's no way they could keep physical distancing. They had children with them who, as you know, as far as I'm concerned, children are disease bearers, little germ bags with it all. So, and every time I want to go out, this is the paranoia. I want to go out. But as soon as I'm out, I want to come back home again. And I don't like that feeling. And I was just thinking to myself, earlier today, actually, I thought, a lot of people are starting to try to go back to a normal life. They've had the vaccine, and they're doing a lot more things. And I'm thinking, am I just being paranoid about this? I've had both vaccines now, still following the regulations that the government has put upon us. Should I be that concerned, get that paranoid over going out? I don't know. But I just saw something, I haven't watched it yet, and I don't know if it's clickbait or not, but we sometimes watch some YouTube channels that deal with cruising. And the clickbait on this one that we watched saying that there's been an outbreak on one of the cruise ships. I haven't watched it yet. I'll have to go and see. So I don't know. And I'm thinking, okay, not going to be traveling anytime soon. Not that I had a cruise in mind, but, I don't know.
Yeah, right now, I mean, right now in Canada, actually, people are pretty good here. A lot of people in our area, anyway. Still, everybody wears masks, so when we go out to a store or something.
Yeah, so Joan, you say you have the Quilter's hop. It sounds like it's going to be a physical hop. Are you worried at all about doing that? Because here, I would really love to go into our local quilt store, but I've been so used to, ordering it online and doing curbside pickup. It
wasn't that long ago we were going into Shirley's place.
Well, that was just after the other lockdown. This lockdown, they've just now opened it up again. We
went into Annie's last week.
Well, that's true. We did do Annie's, but there was only 2 of us in the store.
Yeah.
And we had masks, and we even had gloves and everything like that. So I don't know. Hi, Cindy. Cindy, You missed my discussion about interviews. I want to interview you, Cindy. Emails in the show notes. Write to me. As soon as we're done here today, I want to see an email from you. I'll tell you how it works. I'll send you the questions. No excuses. You're on. Go for it. But anyways, I don't know. It worries me a little bit. Because will we ever be safe?
I probably go out more often than you do. I go over to the Home Depot and I go to Canadian Tire and stuff. And I don't freak out too much.
Well, I don't freak out. It's just, if somebody gets too close to me...
It sort of reminds me of the time that I was off with my leg. And I tried to go to work. I was off for like 6 weeks. And I said, okay,
this is quite a long time ago.
Coming into work today. Yeah, this was...
like
2007.
Yeah, okay.
2008. So. And I said, okay, I'm coming into work today. And then I got in my car and I froze and I couldn't go. And it was because I'd been indoors for so long.
Yeah,
I eventually got out of that, but I mean,
But that was a little different. Like, it wasn't, you weren't stuck in the house because of a disease. You were stuck in the house because
I couldn't walk.
You couldn't walk. So that's a little different. And I guess what it is I don't trust people.
No.
Like, how do you know who's had a vaccine and who hasn't?
No, you don't.
I mean, what was the statistic today? We don't have 50% of our country. We're not.
No, but Oshawa's up to 40% right now for 2 vaccines.
Be better at 50.
Yeah, well.
It'd be better at 90.
It's getting there.
You know, I don't know. Here in New York, Joan says we're fully open. I'm not sure I'd feel this way about some parts of the U.S. because a lot of people have been rejecting vaccines. And Andy says, I get excited when I go out. Good thing I'm an antisocial homebody. Yeah, I mean, okay, that's fine that people, that New York may be fully open, people are getting the vaccine, but as you said, there's other parts of the U.S. where they're not. How do you know what's stopping those people from those parts of the U.S. coming into your part of the country? Like, I don't know. But that's all part of the paranoia. It's that way you're thinking.
It's that thing in your head that you don't know for sure if this is okay or not.
Yes, Anita, the variant thing.
And plus, apparently, there's something they're called Delta and now Delta Plus.
Oh, Delta Plus. Oh, we've upgraded?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
The other thing I was reading something the other day about that they figure that the people that don't get vaccinated, that's the ones that get infected or whatever, they're driving the mutations up. I don't know, that may be all bullshit, but anyway. But
I don't know. Well, like we've said many times before, who do you believe anymore? Because I don't believe the medical authorities simply because they just don't know.
Yeah.
They just don't know.
Yeah, well, basically, they don't know. Like, they open everything up again because they want businesses to go, right? But businesses to survive. But we don't know what effect that's going to be on us in that if it starts getting worse again, then they might have to go back into lockdown again. But they won't know that. We're just the big part of the experiment, right?
Yeah, well, that's right. Joan says you can only get Delta Plus if you pay the extra. Yeah, yeah, it's an upgrade. It's premium.
It's Delta First Class, right?
But here's another thing. In Ontario, they opened up the retail stores a little bit, but they put it to 25% of their store's capacity. On the one hand, that sounds like, okay, they're being cautious. But here's the problem. One, how do they figure out what a store's capacity is? I mean, if you go in a restaurant, they have liquor license here in Ontario to serve liquor. And that says that this room, on the license, it says this area or this facility or this room has a maximum occupancy of so many people. But does Shoppers Drug Mart have something like that?
Okay.
Or Walmart?
Yeah.
Now, just before you cut me off.
Yeah, I want to cut you off.
We went to Shoppers Drug Mart yesterday. It's a big chain here in Canada for drugstores. We went in to get some stuff in there. They had a sign on the window that said their capacity was 122 people.
Oh my God.
In their facility. Okay? Now, there was nobody standing at the door counting people coming in or going out. So how do they know if they have 123 in the store and go, oops, sorry, you got to go stand outside? How do they know how many people they have at any given time in the store? The point is they don't. They don't, and no one's monitoring it. So what's the point? Part of the paranoia.
Well, it's sort of like that thing about if you ever gotten into an elevator and then you read the little sign on the corner of the elevator, it says, this elevator has a capacity of 28 people. And you're standing in the elevator and there's maybe 15 people in the elevator or 10 people in the elevator and you're ready, you're shoulder to shoulder. And you look at it and you think to yourself, okay, how are you going to get 28 people in here?
Yeah. And then, okay, so they said that there was a big controversy back about a month ago about opening up golf courses, okay, because it's outdoors and that kind of thing and restrictions. We drove by a golf course that's only just a few blocks north of us, basically. When we went to the farmer's market, the parking lot was plugged full. I saw guys standing on greens, playing with their balls out of the hole, whatnot. Nobody was wearing a mask. Well, their excuse is because when you're outdoors, you don't need a mask. But you're still supposed to be social distanced. And they were not social distanced. They were all standing on the green together within, a ball's length away. A putter's length away. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, but then they're in their cohort or whatever, I suppose.
Yeah, anyway. Are they in their cohort?
But anyway, when I went to Home Depot a few times the other week or whatever, there was somebody right at the door checking how many people were coming in.
Oh, was there?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Shoppers wasn't doing it. And you can bet Walmart's not doing it.
And actually,
Costco's probably not doing it. Were they? Yeah, because people were lined up outside. Farm Boy is a higher end grocery store out here kind of thing. I don't know. And how do we know how safe we are with the vaccine? Because they keep saying, that the latest thing on the vaccine was ours is supposed to be more effective because we had AstraZeneca for the first one, but our second one was Pfizer. And they're now saying that even gives you better protection. I think they're making that up. They don't know.
They said that it would give you better protection than 2 AstraZenecas.
Yeah.
But it's still not as good as 2 Pfizers. But anyway.
So now people here in our province are picking and choosing. AstraZeneca is pretty much non-existent in our province right at the moment, so they only have the other two. And people now are, I don't want the Pfizer, I want Moderna. I don't want Moderna, I want Pfizer.
Pfizer and Moderna. And people are going in, and if it's Moderna, they don't want it.
But how do they know? They're going by the lack of information that we have been given on all this because they don't know. And they're not going to know for years to come. Because these things, the stuff...
in Canada, so far, the uptake on the vaccines have been really good. Across the country, it's about over 70% of the people have had the first vaccine.
Yeah. Actually, Anita, the Delta variant is already prevalent in the United States, more so than...
It says it's doubling every day.
Yeah. So there you go. I don't know. So, paranoid? I think so. And I don't know how you get over that. But anyways, I think on that note, it is time for us to go with everybody. So, we'll see what we can come up with next week that can make everybody want to hide their head under a rock.
Clickbait.
Just remember, Craft and Chat, Wednesday. Stephen's Creative Birthday Bash, Saturday. If you're not there, I will take it personally. I will cry. You've left me alone.
Oh, and how old are we going to be?
How old are we going to be? Why are you asking that? Did anybody else ask?
How old are you going to be?
Why? What's it anybody's business? How old do you think I am? I still look 29. I have the body of a 20-year-old. Apparently, I have to give it back because I'm abusing it.
Well, you'll have to log on next Saturday to find out how old he is.
Well, I'm old enough to know better, but I'm still young enough to try anyways, okay?
You sure you're old enough to know better?
Let's see, read my lips. How do I put this gently? F off! Anyways, so, and, please, please, please. If you're not going to let me interview you, then show me some of your stuff. Show me your stuff. Okay? I want to send me pictures, one or two. That's all I need. A little blurb about what it is so I can feature it on the Idiot Quilter. Otherwise, it's going to be all about me. Well, I know. And don't say it. Some of you will already. Yes, isn't it? Yeah, okay, fine. Be that way. All right. Lots of things coming up. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us today. And we'll see you next week. My vlog will be up tomorrow. Idiot Quilter will be up. So Chatty will be up. There'll be a new interview up this week. And yeah, there's an awful lot coming up. Jeez. This is almost my full-time job, I think, doing this stuff anymore. Should get paid for it. I don't. Okay, I'm rambling now. Time to go. Bye, everybody. Say goodbye,
bye-bye.
Walter.
Goodbye. It's fun.